Should you quit Instagram? I know so many people are getting really frustrated with Instagram lately, and for good reason, because there are so many changes going on that have kind of affected probably your user experience, like the way that you use it, the way that you can enjoy it, the types of posts that you see. So it's made a lot of people get really angry and frustrated, and a lot of them are getting that feeling of, I just want to quit this. So if that's you, this is the video for you. We're going to dive into exactly why this is happening, why you're not getting those likes and comments and that engagement that you would like to see. Maybe you feel like you've got, quite a bit of following, but you're not getting that engagement and no one's seeing your posts anyway, unless they're reels, which I know is a big thing as well. And then I've also got a bit of a solution for you. So what should you do? If that sounds good to you, then stick around, because I think you're gonna find this helpful. And just quickly before we dive into everything, I do have a freebie for you for growing on Instagram that's specifically for reels. So if you've been trying to get more into reels and kind of using them more frequently, I have 30 days worth of Instagram reel prompts and ideas. They've also got audio for you to use, even though some of them, trending audio changes all the time, but you can still use the ideas and prompts for different audio. So I will link that freebie down below so you can go ahead and grab it and, start using reels more often, because that does help on Instagram these days. So the reason why you probably feel like you want to quit Instagram is because you probably get very low engagement these days, right? Especially if you post photos, they get a much lower reach. Your followers are less likely to see that, and they also get a lot less engagement, like less comments. It's just the way that Instagram has changed at the moment, and a lot of people are saying, my posts are not getting seen, I'm not getting any traction, what is even the point of doing this? I might as well just quit. A lot of people feel like reels are the only way to grow, but at the same time they hate creating reels, so they don't want to do it. And that's fine, you don't have to make reels if you don't like to do that. Like, if you really hate them, then don't do that. Just find different ways to create content on the platform, or focus on different platforms. There will always be things that are out of your control, like what Instagram does, what they do with their platform, what algorithm changes they make, but there will always be things that will be within your control as well. So you really need to stop focusing so much on what Instagram does and start focusing more on what you do. So what you do with your platforms, what you do with your business, because what you're trying to grow here is a business, and you do need to kind of look at it like that. We'll get more into this in a second. But it probably feels like you're putting in a lot of effort into Instagram and you're getting little to no return on your time investment, on your efforts. And even on stories, you might notice your views are dropping. Not a lot of people are interacting maybe. So the reason why you're not getting likes and comments is simply because Instagram has changed. It's not showing the posts. Obviously, the chronological feed has been out for so long, and your followers are simply not seeing all of your posts. Like, I noticed for me, I go and I scroll on Instagram, and a lot of them are either sponsored posts, there's sometimes suggested posts like from other people that I don't follow. There are also reels from people who I don't follow. So the actual people that I do follow, I see less and less of. And it's not because of them, it's not necessarily because of their content, or like the content is bad or anything. It's just the algorithm has changed. And at the end of the day, Instagram is a business, and what they're trying to do probably at all times is to increase their profits, right? Like, any business wants to do that. Of course, there are ways in which you can change your content and your, the type of posts that you put out there to increase your reach, to start growing as well. But you might be limited in what you can do and what is in your control. And I think the main thing, if you get one thing from this video, I hope it's this: just because your Instagram views or likes or comments are down, it doesn't mean your self-worth is less. Please keep that in mind. I feel like a lot of people get so into Instagram and so into getting those likes on the pictures, likes on the reels, that they really start to feel like, their own self-worth and the, amount of love people have for them is all down to those likes or those comments. And that's absolutely not true. Like, please don't feel like you are less worthy just because you don't get as many likes, just because you're not growing as fast as someone else. It truly is, most of the time, it's not about you, it's not about your content, it's simply the way the platform is at the moment. And yes, there are things you can do to improve. You can always be more consistent, you can always create more, but it also needs to be something that you enjoy doing. It needs to be something that fits your lifestyle. If it's not, perhaps you can look into other platforms or other ways that you can connect with your audience, because Instagram is not the be all and all of everything. I believe as a business, as a personal brand, you should not base your entire business and your entire strategy just on Instagram. Like, you should have multiple platforms. Instagram can be a part of that, but it doesn't need to be your main focus. And I think taking that approach makes it less stressful, puts less pressure on yourself to be, you know, on Instagram all the time and comparing yourself and doing all of those things just to kind of, you know, get those likes and get those comments. So I think moving into kind of the, you know, that's the struggle. Everyone's struggling with that. Everyone feels like quitting at some point, and that's fine. But let's move into the solution, right? So let's move into what can you actually do. So a few questions that I kind of want you to ask yourself, and this is something that I have done as well. Like, I've been journaling or kind of writing down in my Trello boards when I'm doing my business plan, my vision board, everything like that. By the way, I have been getting questions if I can do a business plan. I might create a freebie for that. Let me know if you guys would like to see that. I think it might be helpful for some of you if you're trying to build your online business and you don't know where to start. Let me know if you would find that helpful and I can create that for you. Yeah, so a few of the questions that I think would be helpful for you to ask yourself and to kind of sit down and maybe journal about it or write it down or just have a think about it. Why am I on Instagram? What is the purpose of me posting this, right? So really think about, why are you posting on Instagram? Are you just posting pictures here and there to kind of connect with your audience? Are you, you know, just mostly active on stories, which is absolutely fine to do so. It's actually, I think Instagram is a great platform to connect with your audience and to build that trust, build that relatability. So I think it's a great idea to use stories, even if you don't feel like posting anything else. Look at it in the grand scheme of your business, not just at those few Instagram likes on that specific post. I would also ask myself, am I posting to grow my audience? Am I just seeking that fame, you know, the influencer fame or whatever? Am I looking to make money from posting on Instagram? Like, what is the purpose of this? Really break it down and think about exactly what you're trying to achieve with this. Because if you're just posting for the sake of posting, you have no idea who you're talking to, then yeah, you might get frustrated because you feel like you're putting out a lot of content and putting in all this effort, but you're not getting anything out of it. And that's probably because you don't know what you want to get out of it. And so you can't really measure if you're getting that or not, if that makes any sense. Like, if you want to make a specific amount of money, you need to lay down all the steps that are going to get you there, right? And maybe Instagram posting on your stories or reels is part of that, but most likely there will be a lot of other steps involved, right? So posting on Instagram will not be the whole thing that will get you there. Maybe it is, but yeah, you just need to figure out why you're posting, what's the purpose of it, and yeah, just getting really clear on that. So I think that's step number one of trying to figure out a solution for this, like this frustration that we have with Instagram, is to get super clear on what you're trying to achieve on Instagram. And also going along with that is trying to figure out, who are you trying to reach? What is your target audience? If you have not done, you know, audience research to look for what your ideal audience is struggling with, what they're looking for, what they're typing on Google, if you haven't done that, then that's probably something you need to do to kind of figure out, not necessarily your niche per se. I don't really believe in that kind of niche thing. I've done a separate video on this, which I will link in the description box, but do try to figure out who you are speaking to. Like, for me, I think a lot of people look at my Instagram and sometimes I get messages saying, oh, I really love how you're creating content because you're doing all of these topics that seemingly are unrelated. Like, I post on fashion, I post on motherhood, I post on, you know, being minimalist in my home and kind of organizing. I post on online business. So it feels like it's a whole bunch of things, but they all go together for that same target audience, right? So I'm trying to reach mostly moms or women who are interested in online business. That's kind of my target audience, and so my content is mainly aimed at attracting those kinds of people to my platforms. So you might look at my reels maybe, and they're like funny motherhood reels, like mom life, whatever, and you might feel like, well, why are you posting mom life reels when you're selling you know, blogging courses? But they do connect, because my blogging courses are courses that I sell to either moms who want to follow a similar path to what I did, or, you know, just women in general who want to build an online business. And so my reels attract people to my Instagram who have similar interests, who have a similar lifestyle, who can relate to me. And then I do the selling part of the courses and, you know, everything else that I do in my business. So it doesn't always have to be this is the topic, this is the course that's exactly on the same topic. It can be more fluid, it can be more flexible. You just need to figure out who you're talking to and why they should care about you, basically. Step number 2 in this solution to Instagram frustration is to not seek outside validation, especially in the beginning. So don't seek outside validation in the form of likes and comments and views and whatever that might be, but rather try to enjoy the process and focus on the big picture and like the whole journey, not just the one post that you published or the one reel that didn't get views or whatever. A lot of us get so frustrated with that. You post a reel, it didn't get many views, and then you feel like something's wrong with you, like you're doing a crap job at creating content, which is so not true. It's simply sometimes the algorithm, sometimes it's the time you posted, the day. There are so many variables that have nothing to do with you or your self-worth. And especially in the beginning, if you're still trying to grow your account and maybe you only have a few followers so far, which is absolutely fine, you have to be okay with the fact that not a lot of people will pay attention in the beginning, and that's absolutely fine. That's just part of the journey. The more you grow, the more you are consistent, the more you show up, the more people will care. But that's just something that comes in time. And if you simply get frustrated in the beginning because you're not getting people to like your posts and you're just gonna give up, you're not even gonna get to that point where people do start to care. So in the beginning especially, you have to keep going as if people already cared, if you know what I mean. Like, you can't let, you know, the number of likes get you down and stop you from posting. Step number 3 is to actually focus on the engagement that you do get, because most likely you are getting a few DMs, maybe a few comments, a few messages. Make sure that you are actually replying to all of those people, because those people might make up that initial group of fans, right? Like that initial group of people who are actually going to buy from you, who are actually going to be really interested in your content. So do make sure you talk to them, see what their struggles are, see why they like your content or what they're interested to know more about. Really try to understand your audience, because as I said, audience research and learning as much as you can about them, that is so important on this journey, and it really helps you create better content and better, you know, products to sell to them as well. So make sure you are replying as much as possible to all of the DMs, all of the comments that you get, and yeah, just try to understand them and see where they're coming from. Step number 4, as I said before, is to focus on other platforms. Don't focus just on Instagram. I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people get frustrated with it, because sometimes you build, you know, your Instagram to 10K followers or whatever, but Instagram is your only platform that you use to maybe sell products or to, you know, whatever, sell your services, whatever it might be that you do. And so you get really frustrated when Instagram's not working the way, you know, it used to. But the thing is, you can't rely just on Instagram to promote your products and your services, because it's not a platform that you own, and it's not a platform that will always be reliable, right? So Instagram, in my opinion, cannot be your only platform. I highly recommend that you create some long form content as well. So that can be a blog, it can be a YouTube channel. I have a video if you are trying to decide between these two, on how to choose between YouTube or blog if you're not sure. And I also have a freebie, the 12-month blog plan, to kind of help you get started with your blog. So if you need any of those, they will be linked in the description box. But creating content on a long form platform like YouTube or blog or maybe a podcast, it will really help you kind of nurture your audience better. It will help you build deeper connections. It will just help in so many more ways. And it's also evergreen content. On blog and YouTube, it's content that will rank in Google search or rank in YouTube search for maybe years to come, and will still bring you traffic, it will still bring you clients, it will be kind of a constant flow in your business, it can still bring you sales. Whereas on Instagram, you post something and, you know, within 24 hours ish, it won't be seen by a lot of other people. Like, you know, a few years down the line, people are not gonna search for your old Instagram post. So focusing on a long form evergreen content platform is just so much better. And the thing is, oftentimes growing another platform like a YouTube channel or a blog will actually help grow your Instagram as well. So it will kind of go hand in hand. You can also repurpose content from YouTube or from your blog into Instagram, and it just kind of makes the whole thing so much smoother, rather than just having this Instagram you're focusing on that's taking up all your time, that's really frustrating, that's not getting you, you know, the results that you want. So yeah, I would highly recommend having another platform as well. And then the final step is to decide how you want to make money and how you're going to funnel people into that process, right? So are you going to sell services? Are you going to sell digital products, which I highly recommend? How are you going to make money online? Are you just going to rely on affiliates? Are you going to look for brand deals? So just figure that out and figure out a bigger plan, like a bigger vision of how you're going to achieve that, rather than just focusing on Instagram likes, right? So I do hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments below how you're feeling about Instagram these days. Let me know if anything from this video resonated with you. Don't forget to check out the freebies that I mentioned, will be all linked in the description box. And yeah, I hope you're having a lovely day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!